Okay, so now we are going to continue our exploration of the muscles um, in the torso by looking at muscles that are located posteriorly. And so let's start with the superficial muscles. And the first muscle we're going to learn is the one that's commonly known as the traps. Forms this big bundle of muscles up here in the posterior neck area. If you look on each side, the trapezius is a triangular shaped muscle. Okay. And so when you put both sides together, that's what makes it look diamond shaped. So looking at the trapezius, you can see that its origins start in the posterior occipital area where that external occipital protuberance is, and then will continue down from the spinous processes. Sorry, let me go back, changed muscles accidentally. And all the muscle fibers will be inserting, if you look at the far right, they're going to be inserting onto the acromion as well as the spine of the scapula. So looking at these muscles, this muscle, what you can see is muscle fibers are going in multitude different directions. So if you look at the inferior fibers, you can see that they're going in this general direction from an upper outer to a lower inner. So when they contract, they would be doing a different action than these muscles up here, which are going from an upper inner to a lower outer. They're like doing opposite actions. And then in between those upper and those lower fibers, these middle fibers here are almost in a horizontal plane. So when they contract, they would be doing a different action. So pay attention to the actions of this as listed in your notes and on your table, and look to see which fibers are being tagged before you give the action. Like for instance, if you have a quiz or a test question with this bottom arrow, only give this action, what's happening here. Don't give all three actions. So if we look at the back, what you can see is most of the lower back is covered by one big broad muscle known as the lats, the latissimus dorsi. And so this comes off, well, the origin is all here next to the spine and the upper part by the iliac crest. And then it is going to insert on the anterior surface of the humerus, which is just pretty amazing. So it's going to have massive shoulder actions where it will pull the arm or adduct the arm, and because it's anterior, it's going to do some more of that medial rotation that we talked about before. So that's your latissimus dorsi muscle. Deep to these two muscles, if you take off these muscles, then you'll be able to see deep muscles. So starting up in the thoracic area, what you can see is a broad band of muscle fibers which are between the spinous processes and the lower cervical area, upper thoracic area, and the medial aspect of the spine. And in fact, this is two muscles. So in purple here, this is the biggest of the two muscles. And if you look at it, it looks kind of like a parallelogram. So this is a rhomboid shape. So this large muscle is called the rhomboid major. So when it contracts, it is going to pull the scapula in a posterior direction like this, which is known as retracting the scapula. Now, just superior to the rhomboid major is a muscle whose fibers are going the exact same direction. They're just coming off the spine in a more superior location. So this is the rhomboid minor muscle, which has the exact same action. Now there's one more muscle that has an origin very close to these. So if you look at the model and you find the medial aspect of the scapula, the first muscle which was on the medial aspect, that was the large rhomboid major. Then we have the smaller rhomboid minor. If we continue the medial border of the scapula and go to the superior angle, we can see that's where there is a third muscle originating. And this third muscle comes off that superior angle and it's going to go to your C-spine transverse processes. You clearly can see it on this cadaver picture right there. So when it contracts, it's going to be raising the scapula or elevating the scapula. So if you think of the function of this as elevate the scapula, and you knew how to write it, take the E off of elevate, make the word elevator, but take the first E off and put it at the end of the word scapula, because the name of the muscle is the levator scapulae. So this muscle is actually starts off posteriorly, but because of its insertion, it really becomes a lateral neck muscle over here. So if you think of your anterior neck muscles where you had your sternohyoid and your ulnohyoid, and then we had our three scalenes, the very next muscle is going to be the levator scapula. So if you get confused in those muscles, is this the posterior scalene or not? Just don't get confused with the levator scapula, because you'll see the levator scapula's origin is off of the scapula. All right, so that's it for those upper ones. Now let's do some muscles in the neck area, okay, and in the back, deeper muscles. So if we take off the trapezius and take off latissimus dorsi and take off those rhomboids, then we can see our next set of muscles. And there's actually 3 different muscles portrayed in these black and white pictures in the middle, and they each have different names, and we're not going to learn them. We are going to be learning the muscles as a group because they all do the same general function. And their general function is that they help keep you in an upright position. If you remember when babies are born, like they flop over like this, and they have to learn how to pick up their neck, which are some muscles we're going to get to after this, and then they learn how to pick up their back to be sit in an upright position. So these are the ones that allow you to be upright or erect. And so this whole group of muscles is called the erector spinae group. So on your models, you're not going to see it like this on the purple area. You're going to see it like the model on the far right. So you have to look on the side of the model that doesn't have the trapezius or latissimus dorsi, but where you can see the rhomboids and levator scapula. And then you will see muscles that are going parallel to the spine. So anything that you see going parallel to the spine is going to be part of this erector spinae group. Now, if we continue the erector spinae group up into the posterior neck area, we can clearly see that we have some muscles that continue the superior inferior direction, where the yellow arrows are on the human and on the model where the black arrow is. So these upright ones in the neck area, they are going to, when they contract, help you extend your neck. And remember, neck extension is when you're in anatomical position, and hyperextension is when you are looking up at the sky. So the semispinalis capitis helps you with neck extension. And they're going to be the deepest muscles in the posterior neck that we're going to see. Now, if you were to put a bandage going around your head, I think you could see that if a bandage went around your head, it would come down behind your ear to the midline and then go up behind the ear on the other side, which is the direction of the fibers of this more superficial neck muscle. And so we take the Latin word for bandage, which is splenius, and so that is how they got the name of this muscle, the splenius capitis. Okay. So splenius capitis fibers go this direction. And remember, trapezius muscle fibers go this direction. So when you're looking at the posterior aspect of the neck on a model, Stop and think. Don't think, oh, angled in the neck, must be trapezius. Stop and think, what direction are those fibers going? Okay, so this is the splenius capitis, and when it contracts, it's going to be giving you some neck rotation going on. Okay, with that, we are done with the posterior torso muscles, and I will see you again soon as we continue our muscle exploration.